I know you don't want to change your background to this, but you got one loaded up for this.
I just saved it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to change this.
We're just going to have
I don't want to change it. I know. It's so good.
the fucking Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day.
Don't steal my description, bitch.
I fucking knew that was going to be your description.
Yeah.
What else would it be?
It's that.
Save it. Save it for the podcast we're about to do.
Well, I mean, that's probably where we're gonna cut it.
Maybe.
Timestamp that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what we do.
Timestamp it and then cut it out.
Yeah, cut it
And
out.
then put it right back in.
Yeah. Cut it, reverse it.
Did you guys?
Flip down, and reverse it.
Wow. Sorry, do what to it, Mikey?
Did you guys
Flip down,
see?
and re-
Did you guys see my movie Clean Up at the Oscars?
What movie?
My movie.
What's your movie?
Oh, yeah.
Clean Up at the Oscars. Only one movie cleaned up at the Oscars.
Yeah, that was
I didn't watch
everything
the Oscars.
everywhere.
Why is
all
it
at
your
once.
movie?
because I told you about it.
No, I saw it before we even talked about it here.
You literally came directly to me after you watched it and was like, "Hey, I watched that, by the way. It was really good."
That might happen.
That's exactly what happened. I was there.
And then you told me to watch Triangle of Sadness.
Did you watch Triangle of Sadness?
Not yet.
Oh.
It was nominated for Best Picture and lost to
Yeah.
my movie.
Triangle of Sadness was great. I'd say it's more Mikey's movie than your movie.
What?
That's also true.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Why is it more Mikey's movie?
It's kind of a triumph for Asian people.
Chinese people.
Chinese, Asian community.
Yeah, they're all the
Overall.
same.
No. Let him finish.
I'm keeping that in.
Time saying that?
I'm keeping that in.
Cut that out.
I'm keeping that
Of
in.
course, I don't believe that.
No. Let him cook, guys. Let's see what he has to say about that.
Oh God!
Wow.
But I do believe that it was a pretty big thing for the Asian.
Of course, I'm
community.
just being
I
fucking
know.
an asshole.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's also a new Asian movie coming out with one of the actresses. Oh, it was fucking hilarious. I saw the trailer for it.
I don't know.
I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, somebody's gonna tell me.
I know the new Last Airbender movie or show is all Asian cast,
Oh really?
which is fucking amazing. Daniel Day Kim was on Tiger Belly
Yeah.
Oh,
he was
talking
nice.
about it because he's Firelord Ozai,
Oh no way!
which is incredible casting, if you ask me.
Actually, yeah.
Right? Incredible
yeah.
casting.
Everybody loves Daniel Day Kim. That guy's
Yeah.
incredible.
He could play any role, and you'd be like, incredible casting.
Dude,
Alright.
he played a no-named security agent in Jurassic World who gets fucking eaten in like
Yeah.
literally 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Everybody was shitting their pants. Daniel Day Kim
He's
in
the
fucking
best.
Jurassic World.
He's the best.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
So this is gonna be about Daniel Day Kim now.
Yeah, I think it is.
Might be a better episode.
Yeah, honestly. All right, here, do the clap. She's just been
It's
talking
like I'm
about
stuck
this.
in a hyperloop of something.
Yeah. And welcome back to Anime Shmanime, where we're going to be talking about Daniel Day Kim.
And welcome back to Anime Shmanime, where we're going to be talking about...
Daniel Day Kim.
Welcome back to Anime Shmanime, where we're going to be talking about
Daniel
Daniel Day
Kim.
Kim.
If that's not a fucking...
Welcome back to
foreshadowing.
Anime Shmanime.
About, yeah, fucker, we're doing Tatami Galaxy.
Yeah.
And if
Holy
you've
fuck.
seen it, you'll get that bit we just did.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it,
You'll get it
hate
by
that
the end of
bit.
this. Yeah.
You'll hate that bit.
Yeah. Or you'll laugh and not know why you laughed and feel dumb about it.
But yeah, also, if you're just tuning into our show for the first time, we are going to spoil the fuck out of everything because we review shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, fucking Tatami Galaxy.
Let's dive right in. It's Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Meets with a little sprinkle of Superbad
Yeah.
and a little hint of Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Right in at the end
Yeah,
there.
okay. I guess so. I mean, it is fucking Groundhog Day. It's a 12-episode show,
Yeah.
and there's really only 2 episodes.
You
Right?
think there's
Like,
only 2 episodes?
there's only 2 episodes.
That matter.
That
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really mattered. Honestly, it really could have just been 2 episodes. we've talked about this a little bit before too, where at the I described it.
Yeah.
No, Baker described it. My buddy Baker.
Yeah.
This is a fucking, a hipster anime
Yeah.
where they look at you and like, you just don't get it, man. And I'm like,
Yeah, the way I felt from it, for anybody that doesn't know, I'm a disgusting art school dropout.
Ew.
Yeah. And so like I wasted a bunch of years at art university studying art and film and shit, and in the most pretentious way you could possibly imagine. This is the kind of movie where they're like, guess what you guys are doing for this unit? Anime. And everybody's like, yes, fuck yeah, maybe we'll watch some Perfect Blue or something fucking cool, Ghost in the Shell, something legendary.
Yeah.
And they're
Kira.
like, we're gonna do the Tatami Galaxy. And the whole class is like,
What?
the fucking what?
The who? Yeah.
And everybody looks to the one guy they know who loves anime, and they're like, "Do you know what this is?" And
he's
even
like, "Ah,
he's
we're all
like,
gonna hate it."
"I don't fucking know,"
Yeah.
because I don't know where this even came from. I had never heard about it prior to it being suggested.
Yeah.
Also, who do I have to be mad at about this
Mikey.
one?
This is all Mikey Lee.
Well, no.
No.
I don't want to be
wait.
mad at Mikey. I don't want to be mad at Mikey, so I'm going to give him the opportunity to blame it on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, exactly.
That's all we got on the internet.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
No. Listen. We were supposed to, like, for some of our followers who have been following us for a while, they know that we were supposed to do this for Valentine's Day.
Right.
Because
right,
it's such a
right.
Valentine's Day.
Well,
themed
shut the fuck up.
On
both of you.
paper it
Wait,
is.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, let me explain.
Raven-haired beauties.
Right. So I was like, okay, you know what? I didn't want us to do some sort of like, typical like my love story or like I don't know, a typical Valentine's Day anime about like high school love or something like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something a little bit different.
This
and
was
so-
that. You nailed it.
And this
Yeah.
was that.
Yeah.
And I found it on the internet. This
Yeah.
was that.
Fuck you, internet.
Yeah. And I was like,
I hate the internet.
and I was like, okay, it sounded a little eclectic, and I was like,
Yeah.
and I figured, hey, maybe Jordy would actually like this, and it turned out like I haven't seen it either, and this is the first time I fucking hated this.
Well, you want to know something? I actually kind of fucking loved it.
No,
Yeah.
you fucking did
I
it.
did, dude,
No,
a lot.
you didn't.
I loved
you
it.
did it. You
Did you
fucking
actually?
liar.
A
You're
lot,
a
man.
fucking
Yeah, I really
liar.
enjoyed watching
you're
the show.
a fucking
No,
liar.
dude, I'm being serious. Okay.
You're a
Here's what happened, okay?
There's no way.
Here's what happened. I watched the first episode and I was like, what? I watched the second episode and I was more confused. And then, yeah, same as you guys. There were a bunch of episodes in the middle where I was like, why? And then I got it. Before the last two episodes,
Yeah.
I got where it was going and I was like, oh, this is fucking sick. This is for me. I loved
Interesting.
I loved
That
when
is
it got
so
me. When
interesting.
I got it, I was like, oh, I understand. I understand why it had to be this many episodes.
Yeah.
I got it. You know what I mean? Because they have to fool you
Yeah.
for it to have an impact at the end. If it was just 2 episodes, you would throw it away immediately.
Well, I understand that, and I think that kind of applies to like a lot of almost any anime in general, or like
Yeah.
any story. You have to take it somewhere that they're really not expecting, or like
sure.
there's some sort of build up and catharsis that has to happen, right?
Absolutely.
But I am so surprised that you like this
I liked it.
because like
This lived rent-free in my head for weeks. Still, sometimes it'll pop into my head. I'll be like, oh, yeah.
yeah, because man, like watching this, I was just like, and I know online a lot of people loved it.
Yeah.
a lot of
That's
people.
the thing. The internet really props this thing up.
Yeah.
And for us as like the only 2 anime watchers really like on a regular basis. Well, you are too, Jordy. Like let's
Now,
be real.
I
here.
watch a lot of anime.
Yeah, for this podcast.
Yeah.
And you're a weeb now. Let's be real. But like seriously,
about
like
that.
I thought that after I finished this, I was like, what the fuck? Like that hurt me. I got it too.
Yeah.
But it just didn't do it for me, man. Like
To me, it just doesn't. It's not a smooth watch. It's not like a super like digestible,
it's so janky.
enjoyable watch. Like this is the kind of series to me that like if you want to go in and study something,
Yeah.
if you want to analyze and pick something apart, like
Yeah.
I'm saying, guys. Like the whole art school comparison that I made. The reason it would be suggested at an art school is because like you can dissect this
Yeah.
till the fucking cows come home.
Yeah.
That is so dense with imagery, with alliteration, with references to certain things.
Yeah.
With it is so like I said, it's just so dense. My problem is that it's also very up its own ass a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
because they are so it's so what's style over substance.
Yes.
In a way with this, because unfortunately, like simply the dialogue alone was so difficult to follow and so fast.
It was fast.
And so conversationally spoken, and not conversationally among two people, conversationally inner monologue, conversationally. I'm trying to keep up with somebody's thoughts in their head, because that's how they wrote the dialogue.
Yeah.
Is it's supposed to feel like this guy's rambling, incoherent thoughts going on in his brain, and you're just privy to them. That is not an environment that is enjoyable to be in. Somebody else's chaotic, fucked up head where they're rifling through thoughts a fucking mile a minute.
See,
it's not fun.
And I agree. It was a hard watch, but I like that because they chose to do something and did it effectively. They put us inside a guy's janky thoughts, and they made it janky, and they made it hard to be there.
For sure. And
So
I'm
to
just
me,
saying
I was like, that's a good effect.
that's going to gel with some people, and other people are going to be like, I'm not enjoying my time watching this.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
And that for me was like, I wasn't enjoying this. I'm like, fuck, I'm getting sucked back to 21 years old where I really feel like I need to pull out my fucking notes and pause this every 10 seconds, the same way I used to do with like Wes Anderson films and
Oh yeah,
in
Wes Anderson
university.
films are great.
They are, but they're very similar to this in the sense that they are so stylistically
For sure,
heavy.
yeah.
There's so much mise en scène. There's so much fucking imagery and symbology in every fucking frame. Everything is intentional.
Yeah.
And that is commendable. The craft on display here. The same with Wes Anderson is incredible. But some people are just like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
That is too much for my brain to do. And for me, when I watch anime, and this isn't catch-all, there's exceptions to this. When I come to anime, I'm either looking for something where I can turn my brain off and get treated to eye candy, or something.
Dragon Maid.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or I'm going in for something that is really fantasy heavy, really transformative, very escapist. I can kind of go to a different world or a different place and enjoy that, right? Well, the place where this takes you in his brain, basically, is not an enjoyable place for me to be.
Sure.
And also, it's unfortunately art-wise, it's good. It's one note personally, and it wasn't to my taste. So therefore, it's not eye candy for me. So
It's an ugly watch. I'll agree with you.
All the things,
Really?
all the
The art
things,
style?
the art
That's the only-
style's
that's-
crude.
That's the one thing that I did enjoy about this. It was because it's crude.
Right, and you can like that, but it definitely is crude, right? But like, so none of the reasons why I come to anime are being fed by this.
Well, and if we go back to the scores, you're going to find that a lot of this, I've scored high a lot of shows and movies that are like this. All the weird kind of plots, all the strange.
The less anime stuff.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But like, I totally get, because like you reminded me when you're talking about your art school, because in college I did take a film studies class.
Yeah. What did you study?
What they make you watch? I want
Wes
to know.
Anderson.
Not even Wes Anderson shit, and not even like fucking like Alfred Hitchcock or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was obscure indie black and white films.
Yeah.
That like had just like parts of it were silent and
You had
like,
a bad teacher, it sounds like.
oh, dude, I
teacher,
dropped that
yeah.
class so fast after
Yeah.
like the first two fucking classes.
Yeah.
But this reminds me of that.
Okay.
And like I said, like if everything that needs to be in order for something to be successful, or like I think anime or story, like you have to have great visuals, great story,
Yeah.
and great dialogue, right? Like those are kind of three really big things that all need to kind of mesh together. For me, the only thing that I thought was really cool in this was the art style. And because it's very different from other things, and that's why another reason why I picked it, because it was so interesting as far as anime goes, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, to your criteria, I think the art was. I liked the art. I didn't think it was the best art, but I liked it. Fit this show. I agree that the dialogue was rough because of the speed of it all, but I loved the story.
dude, this thing
I
is a
loved the
fucking
story.
acid trip.
And that's the thing I was going to say. Like the story is there, and that's almost kind of what annoys me is that it feels a little inaccessible. You know what I mean? At least on a first watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe subsequent watches I could dig deeper on this. And like I said, if I pulled out a notebook and I was pausing, every few minutes,
Yeah.
I'm sure I could pull a lot more out of this.
I was kind of doing that. I
Oh,
think that's the other
yeah.
thing too. That's how I
I'm
watch.
sure you were.
Yeah, I had a notebook.
That
Literally, these are my notes. We're talking about.
and this is perfect for that.
Yeah.
But I think outside of that style of watching, I can't see how somebody could enjoy this.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, which
Casually.
it still blows my mind because the internet has given it such a high rating.
Yeah.
And I think this is a very divisive anime.
Yeah. I
Like-
mean, my brain's running wild right now, but
I mean,
like,
I already can't trust you on anime anyway. Judgment. So the fact that you like this already.
So mean.
I'm allowed to like what I like.
I know,
Mike.
Listen, I'm overall, I'm actually just overjoyed that you liked something.
It's
Yeah.
true. It is true.
Yeah.
Even though it's
I'm subverting your expectations, just like the last 2 episodes of the show did.
all right. Well, fuck. Let's do Senpai's Corner and
Okay.
and do that.
Give us the art school lesson on this show.
All right, the Tatami Galaxy, or Yojohan Shinwa Teikei, or literally 4.5 Tatami Mythological Chronicles.
They explain it. They explain it later.
Is a 2004 Japanese varsity novel, which is something I didn't know existed, but apparently is a very popular genre of novels in Japan, centered around university campuses.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Written by Tomihiko Morimi and published by Ota Publishing. Its first-person narrator is an unnamed upperclassman at Kyoto University, reminiscing on the misadventures of his previous years of campus life.
They call him senpai.
That's right.
Yes,
with each
senpai.
with each of the 4 chapters taking place in parallel universes in which he is enrolled in a different student society. The Tatami Galaxy was adapted into an 11-episode anime television series produced by Madhouse. Madhouse, guys. I don't really think I need to go into Madhouse.
Yeah, let's be real here.
Madhouse is
mad.
everything.
Yeah.
Like,
But they made
Another banger by Madhouse.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, they
listen.
made this maddening by Madhouse.
According to most, yes, Jordy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
No, this should be in Mad Magazine.
I love Mad Magazine too, though.
You know, there's a lot of parallels to this.
Next time we hang
to
out, I'm going to bring
fucking
my Mad
Kill
Magazines.
a Kill, actually.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
If
So
I do
this
some
was-
mental gymnastics.
Directed by Masaki Yuasa. It aired on Fuji TV's late night Noitamina programming block in 2010. So this is a bit of an old one now, even though 2010 feels like last year. The adaptation was critically acclaimed, winning the 2010 Japan Media Arts Festival Grand Prize in the animation division and the 2011 Tokyo Anime Award in the television category. And an original net adaptation of the Tatami Time Machine Blues, produced by Science Saru, premiered on September 2022 on Disney+.
Yeah.
Sorry, is there a sequel?
Yeah, there's 2 more. So there's there's a sequel, and then there's, I think, a third
There's
one.
a net
another movie.
animation, then there's a film.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a few different things kind of all built off of this.
Okay, we can do it for your birthday.
Can we put those? Yeah.
Maybe for your birthday.
Yeah.
If you
No,
want
we're
to
doing-
keep going with this,
no,
man,
for my birthday, we're doing Full House
Fuck you.
or Saved by the Bell or something.
they made that into anime?
No, we're just going to do it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for a different podcast.
Yeah.
No, just for fun.
You're going to make a different podcast for that?
Yeah, that's on the OnlyFans.
Don't worry, guys.
We're
I
gonna
won't
start
let him
fucking-
do this to you.
Yeah, we're not gonna do Patreon. We're gonna just do OnlyFans.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's not much else I can really say, guys.
All
A lot of the other trivia is about, the novels and
Sure.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
And,
That's all good.
All right.
Let's talk about the world.
The world.
It's pretty much, at first, you think it's just a normal kid in a college
Yeah.
going to school. You don't realize that each episode is its own alternate universe,
Yes.
right? You
It's
kinda
like a
already went into that.
timeline.
What's that?
It's a different timeline.
Each one, yeah, is a
Yeah.
different one. And at first, the first 3 episodes, I was like, is this dude just joining all the clubs? I don't even realize I was watching a loop for 3 episodes straight.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there's that whole scene where like he walks down and then
Yeah.
you see them and
It
he
just
picks
wasn't clear.
one.
I was like, what is he didn't like the last one? It didn't work
Yeah.
out for him, obviously. So
Yeah.
he's going to try a new one.
You didn't read any plot synopsis, nothing about
No.
this before watching it?
No,
Okay.
I like to go in blind on
Yeah, yeah.
everything we
I
watch
do
now.
too.
No,
Yeah.
and that's cool you did because, yeah, I mean, you got it probably when the narrative wanted you to get it.
Yeah.
As opposed to me, I knew this was like a multiverse,
Yeah.
every episode different type of thing.
yeah.
So I knew going in, I'm like, all right, here we go.
Yeah. At first, I was like, okay, this is the weirdest slice of life I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's what I originally thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of it for the world.
Yeah,
Right?
that really is. It's
Well,
just fucking
it is
melting.
It is and it isn't, because each of those worlds we could spend an episode
True.
discussing
But that's plot.
the craziness and the style
Yeah.
of and
Yeah.
the weirdness of and the
Yeah.
nuance of. But yeah, you're right.
We'll touch on that in the
Because
plot.
they essentially, well, I mean, like this can segue to the characters, because essentially every episode too, they become slightly different characters and have different personas, right? Like,
To a point, yeah, for sure. They take on different roles.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
mean, at one point he's a fucking detective.
Yeah.
yeah. Although
You
some
know?
of the
Kind of.
some,
He's a detective in the context of a club at school that
that's
he
the
joined.
thing. Yeah.
Right?
Some
Yeah.
things stay the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There
Yeah.
are those constants. Some people
Yeah.
kind of represent the same thing.
Like Ozu is
in all
always
of them.
Ozu no
Yeah.
matter what.
No matter fucking what,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly who I was thinking of as I was saying that.
Yeah, his weird little teeth.
Dude. So ugly, man.
I actually loved it.
Dude, well, that's what I'm saying. Like character design, art style, I really do like how eclectic it is.
Let's segue to art.
Right,
I agree. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, even if you look just at the stills, like of any of the covers of or like stuff that you see on the internet,
Mm.
like I do like the aesthetic. It's very cool. It's very kind of niche.
I called it
Right?
a hodgepodge. There's a lot of different shit going on at different times.
Definitely.
But
know
it's intentional,
Yeah.
and they're not trying to. They're not like throwing it at you randomly. They're like, "This is what you're gonna get."
You know what
And
this
it's not
feels
gonna
like?
stop.
It fucking feels like Japanese pop art,
Of course. Absolutely. That's totally what they're going for.
right? Like
Yeah.
with the influence.
It's just Andy Warhol
Yeah.
if he was Japanese.
Yeah.
Pretty much on the money. But like, and that's the thing with this is like, while it is a hodgepodge and it does jump all over the place, it's been painted over with this like unifying, like Mikey said, this unifying pop art paintbrush.
For sure.
That even though they're jumping around within that context, there is a unifying aesthetic to this.
Yeah.
And just like pretty much everything we've watched, it's either going to hit with some people or it's not.
Yeah.
Its aesthetic taste is as varying as literally anything in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, I can appreciate the difference that this presents and like the uniqueness of this.
Yeah.
Does not hit for me. This is not at all to my taste. I'm
Yeah.
not big on pop art.
Sure.
You know, no.
Actually, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
I pop art as like the beginning of so many things that came after it, as the godfather of so many things. Absolutely, all the respect in the world. But like the type of pop art this is going for, not really not up my alley. The primary colors, the flat colors, it's just really not my thing.
Yeah.
But for some people, it's going to be so your thing that it might become your favorite fucking anime.
Yeah.
Because it's that stylistically unique.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
You'll never see anything like this ever. Really.
But if you like this anime because of the art and you rate it really high overall,
Here it comes. Dude.
Yeah. What can you do, Mikey?
well, that's just Jordy, and I can't trust your opinion.
Yeah.
But everybody else I can trust.
Yeah.
It's just Jordy.
You don't think that if they liked this and they rated it really high, that then they could go and rate us? like and subscribe us?
Oh, you fucking swiped it from me.
I thought that's what you were doing.
Me and Jordy were looking at each other being like, here it comes, here it comes. And then you didn't do it.
I didn't do it because we still have to talk about characters. And I was waiting for that.
I slipped it in there.
I don't judge when you slip it in, but I thought for sure that was it.
Well, now it isn't.
Well, fuck. Anyway, guys, if you can like and subscribe and rate us wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah. If you're listening to this on Apple, you can rate us. You can
Yeah.
actually give us a rating, and that helps a lot.
Spotify as well.
Spotify too, yeah. and
Yeah,
all that
you guys
good
don't
stuff.
realize how much you can help us out. We love
Yeah.
you for it.
You don't even know.
You don't even know. Until you do it.
Yeah, and tell a friend.
Yeah.
Tell a friend.
Do it
Please.
and watch us blow up.
Tell people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to be the episode that breaks us.
Oh my god.
That launches us. We get launched because of
Tatami
Can you
Tatami
imagine?
Galaxy.
It'll
Oh my
become my
God.
favorite anime if that happens.
Yeah.
No.
Inadvertently.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Ozu is going to be our new Excalibur.
No.
Oh yeah.
No, he's just going to become
Excalibur.
he's just going to become you from now on in our
Yeah.
thumbnails. I'm just going to put Ozu's face over your face.
I do feel very Ozu-ish in our group. I do feel a lot like him. Yeah.
Well, let's get into characters then.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
Okay.
a good segue.
We jumped over music, but it's like all jazz.
Yeah. It's all acid jazz too,
Yeah,
man.
pretty
It's
much,
like-
yeah.
Which is crazy because that's like my least favorite type of music. So
Okay.
this anime is just trucking along in such a good way for me.
It's
I do
giving
like
you
jazz, though.
X's all around.
I fucking
X.
Yeah.
jazz and country are like the worst.
Yeah, I'm
things.
not.
You don't
a
like
big
a honky
country
tonk?
fan.
Not.
There is only one fucking country song that I like.
What is it?
And it's My
I
Girlfriend Goes
got
Fishing.
friends in low places.
Can we not, guys?
Okay, sure.
Mine's My Girlfriend Loves Fishing. It's or something like that.
Can we not, guys?
Sure. Okay.
Who are we talking about in characters?
Let's talk about Senpai.
Yeah. Okay.
Senpai. Otherwise unnamed.
Yes.
Yes.
He's kind of an incel,
Oh, totally.
but not a dangerous one yet. But
Yeah.
still, like one
he's-
of these in one of these universes,
Probably.
he drives a van into a group of people on the sidewalk.
Oh my god.
Right?
Yeah, he has that vibe where he's just. Well, I mean, even in the first episode, like they're fucking. He has a chance to go and speak to,
Yeah.
his girl, and then he just hangs out and just destroys people's day.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
He doesn't like it.
yeah. He just wants to ruin people's day.
Yeah, he gets into college and somehow he has 0 friends and 0 life and 0 interests. He's a blank slate, which is perfect for this show because each universe he gets to start fresh. Right? You know what I mean? And yeah, his whole goal is just to reinvent himself in college.
Yep.
That's kind of his whole character. And again, in each episode, he changes it in each one, and we'll get to that. But that's
Yeah.
really all there is to say about him as a base,
Yes.
right?
The rest will come out later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Ozu, who I honestly for a while was thinking there's like a Fight Club situation where they're the same person.
I thought so too at one point. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is going to be fucking multiple personality.
I kind of loved it.
Yeah.
Clearly, I had checked out because I was like,
You weren't even thinking.
not. No.
You're just like weird guy with the teeth, stupid guy I don't care about. Okay, when's
It
the
was,
last
it was
episode?
more so just hate that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's so greasy.
So
man.
greasy.
yeah. I liked him. He's an oddball. You know what I mean? Not sure if he's like an alien or a monster as
Or
well
a
at
fish.
sometimes or
Yeah.
what. Yeah, I don't know.
There's something fishy about
Yeah,
him.
there is, isn't there? Yeah. And sometimes he's super loyal to
Yeah.
Senpai and sometimes not. He's just kind of a wild card, but that also plays hand in hand into the way each episode or universe plays out. Right? And that's all we can say about him until we get into plot.
Yeah.
We can talk about Akashi-san, who is the third of their trio,
Yes.
Yes.
who is like cold as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Ultra straightforward, you know what I mean? At one point, she's described as she has sturdy legs and an air that doesn't let people get close. And I was like, that's all I need to know about her.
Total ice queen.
Yeah, I mean, but she like an ice queen in a great way because she's not really fully ice, like because she'll always like back up Sensei when
Yeah.
he needs it. Like,
Yeah.
Sure.
He's like, oh no, you sneak out the back. Like,
Yeah.
I'll finish your food for you.
Well, I think she's the only regular human in this entire show.
Yeah.
She's the only one that maintains some sort of like
Normalcy?
constant level of
Yeah.
normalcy. The rest of them are all insane people,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
No, everybody else is just on acid.
Yeah, maybe that's
could
it.
also be it.
Maybe that's it. Speaking of on acid, let's talk about Higuchi, who is like the dude. He's the dude.
The true. He's the dude.
Yeah.
He is the dude.
He is the dude.
But he's also got a Van Wilder vibe because he just
Yeah.
never leaves school. He's a college student, but
Yeah.
he's just been there forever. Is the kind of the idea, right?
Yeah.
And he's like your constant. He's got these random drops of wisdom throughout the whole thing, and often you don't realize it's wisdom because this show reveals everything at the end. So sometimes he's saying shit, and you're like, "What?" And then at the end, you're like, "Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense in context." He has this fucking song about a circle.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we can skip that part.
No, I loved it, dude.
I don't need to revisit the song.
I
dude.
loved it, dude.
Yo, guys, this is gonna be a short episode.
It might be.
This is what happens when Mikey and Jay don't like something.
Yeah. I get it, guys.
And you know what? It's funny too because like it's really rare that I don't like something.
Yeah.
No, it is rare.
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
You picked it, bro.
Bro. Don't probe me, bro.
Yeah. Anyways.
Dude. Guy. Buddy.
Yeah, Higuchi's random pieces of wisdom are like kind of cool because some of them I actually found applicable like in real life, and I appreciated that in this show. Like he's always talking about he wants that rose-colored campus life. That's the
Yeah.
thing he mentions over and over and over again. And somewhere in the middle of this show, Higuchi kind of like sits him down and is like, rose color doesn't exist. It's actually like a mixed up bunch of colors. And I'm like, oh man, like where's that advice to human beings and not this guy?
Dude, and where is that advice delivered in a way that's not hidden in this convoluted show?
The
Like
song. I think it was a lyric in the song.
this is what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Like it's there, man, and that's what's so frustrating to me. Is like I think there's a lot of really cool lessons taught in this show and
Yeah.
learned in this show in interesting ways.
Yeah.
They just hide it behind all of this self-indulgent like style.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is a very big air of arrogance in this
Yeah.
in this anime. I feel like
I mean, yeah, it's that art
snootiness.
school
Hipsterness,
Yeah,
dude.
it
It's the,
Yeah, like
you know what it
exactly.
is?
Pretension.
It's the art school dropout.
Yeah.
Who's like, fuck those teachers. I'm going to show them. They didn't like. They failed me on this project.
See, when people do that, I mean, okay, I'll give this credit if that's what it's trying to do because I'm all about being punk rock and
Yeah. This
I
show's
love
kind of
that,
punk rock.
right? And I do get that, but there is a degree where it's not. It doesn't cater to my sensibilities or my palate. Like
Yeah.
I can't.
You're just not punk enough.
I can respect it though. I
not
can
punk enough,
respect it.
Mikey.
Oh, fuck you! I grew up punk.
This doesn't give me like, you know, kid drops like, oh, my teachers failed me in art school for this. This gives me like, I got honors at school for handing this in.
yeah.
And the kid who got failed is the kid who made like a battle shonen.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Or an actual slice of life.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Or a silent voice
Sure.
or something like that. You
This
know
is
what I
the
mean?
kid who watched all the black and white films that Mikey's teacher made him watch.
and then made
loved
an
them,
anime
and
based
loved
off
them,
of it, and
yeah.
all the art teachers are like, "Wow, this is incredible."
It's
Meanwhile,
brilliant.
they've never seen anime in their life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but the kid gets a fucking A plot. Like,
Yeah.
that's
so
what it
pretentious.
is.
All right.
Pretentious. That's the word I was looking for. Pretentious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this thing, if you can get past that, or if you can get
Yeah.
on board with that,
Yeah.
great.
All right.
I went to school with a lot of kids who were like, "This is my shit."
Yeah.
Not me, man.
I like a little bit of pretentiousness in my shit.
I
You
can
know what?
tell.
I like it. Yeah.
I do too, to a degree, because
Yeah.
it and like having that spectrum is definitely needed.
Yeah.
Right, and those different viewpoints.
Yeah.
But that sometimes it's just like when someone is just so far up their own ass about certain things.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, let's
keep going.
get in the plot. Okay.
Let's get into the plot.
So
Beautiful.
We'll give like a lowdown of how the show starts, and then we'll kind of have to go episode by episode.
Yeah.
But we don't need to spend a ton of time on each episode. So, okay, we're in college. Senpai wants to be popular. And more importantly than being a popular, he wants to find his raven-haired beauty. Mm-hmm. There's these
already there.
There's exactly, but that's part of it, right?
Yeah, I know,
There's
I
these
know.
terms that pop up, right? He wants to achieve the rose-colored campus life.
Yeah.
And to do this, he has to join a circle, which is like a club. And he meets Ozu, and things go wrong, and you don't realize certain things are running gags at first. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But there are certain things that are elements of every episode.
Yeah.
I.e., the fortune teller.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I
Actually,
mean?
I did enjoy her.
At first, I was annoyed. I was like, they're just reusing clips, literally. And then I realized maybe the third episode in that she's raising her price by $1,000 or whatever each time. And I was like, oh, I get it. And then she starts being snarky, and she becomes this meta element, right?
Yeah.
Because even the second episode, he, who doesn't know he's in a multiple universe, goes, are you raising your rates?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very confusing, but I liked it. And then, Akashi-san's little keychain keeps showing up, right? He keeps finding it and he never gives it back. And that's a running gag, right?
And I liked a lot of these carry through things. I
Yeah.
liked a lot of these things that would pop up later on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not shitting on this entirely.
Yeah.
Like they were
Yeah.
doing some things right.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a lot of those elements are great, like hooks for everybody, right? Even in just general storytelling.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of them I didn't notice at first. And that's because I didn't know what I was getting into. But
Sure.
a lot of them I noticed when they were revealed to be important.
And that's what I'm saying.
Which
It's when
was
the
huge for
plot
me.
the plot wanted you to know
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
It rarely happens.
I know.
Usually you already know, you've already assumed, or somebody spoiled it for you, or whatever.
Yeah, I
right?
didn't know shit.
You've deduced it yourself.
Yeah.
And if you can be really truly surprised by something, by a piece of media,
Yeah.
I think that's rare, man.
Totally.
Yeah, I think
They
it's
got me.
commendable.
This show
They
did
got
get
you.
me.
They got you.
I'm also a bit of a simpleton, though. So, like,
You know what's fucking
You do miss a lot.
Yeah,
You do miss
know
a
what's
lot.
funny? It's like you fucking say that you're a simpleton, right? And you miss a lot in all
But I love
these
this
other
pretentious smart
fucking-
show, yeah.
all this other shit that like I missed that, I missed this. Oh, it was kind of boring.
Yeah.
This anime part was boring, and then this comes up
Yeah.
where the motherfucker is just babbling nonsense for hours on acid.
Yeah.
Right.
I love
and
it.
This, oh fuck you,
I
man.
love it. I love that it makes you angry that I love it.
It's pretty great.
I love it.
Pretty great.
Okay. Episode 1. Okay. There's a ramen cart at this like shrine,
Yeah.
and we meet the god of matchmaking, who is
Yeah.
Higuchi. And he is hooking some girl up with he's like, I've chosen a person to hook up with this girl. It's either you, senpai, or some other dude. who we haven't met yet.
Oh, that was the other reason why I picked this was because there was a god of matchmaking.
Only in one episode, though.
For Valentine. Well, he comes up every so often.
But he's not the god of matchmaking in every episode. He's only the god of matchmaking in this episode.
Okay, yes.
In other episodes, he's like other roles.
things.
Yeah. no,
Anyways, so he's going to hook him up with either Senpai or Ozu. We haven't met
Ozu,
Ozu yet,
yeah.
but we do gather there's history with Ozu. We got this flashback to college because that part happens outside of college. So we flash back to college. He and Ozu had started a cult called the Black Cupids that interrupt romantic gatherings. It's basically a group of incels doing incel shit.
Literally, dude.
Yeah.
The black cupids.
Senpai eventually decides, like, what am I going to do? Like, do I need to make a play to get chosen or do I need to let this be? Like, what the fuck do I do? He eventually, after staying up all night, contemplating the nature of love and death, decides to go to Higuchi's apartment and make a case for himself in the hookup. He ends up promising to take her to the ramen card. He finds her little lost toy, and they go on this date, and he can't even fucking talk to her. It's like the worst date of all time.
And these are all the anchors that are being like put in place, which I like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, like the keychain, like we were talking about
Exactly.
before, right?
Yeah.
They're throwing anchors in every so often, solidifying how like it's going to loop and loop and loop.
Yep. And a huge anchor happens next.
But did they have to throw it in that way?
I
Like
mean,
with the dialogue and the storytelling?
I mean, no. They didn't
No.
have to. But they chose to. They
Choices
made a
were
choice.
made.
Yeah.
Choices were made, guys.
Yeah.
Choices were made.
Speaking of anchors, a huge one happens in this first episode is Ozu kind of finds out that Senpai weaseled his way into getting the hookup instead of him, and he decides he's going to jump in a river.
Yeah.
So there's that scene with him on the bridge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's an angry mob for some reason. You don't know why.
Well, you do because like they were like throwing
It's
fireworks.
the Black Cupid shit. Yeah,
right. So
Anyways, he falls in and Senpai gets thrown into the water. And at this point, my note was, yo, what the fuck? Really? This is the show I'm about to watch? I was confused. Okay?
do you remember that text message I sent you
Yeah.
when we were watching this? Like,
Dude, it was so hard for me not to tell you guys that I liked the show as you guys were bashing it for the last couple weeks. Constantly, you guys were talking about how bad the show was. And I was like, okay. That's the end of the first episode. Episode 2, The Film Circle. Senpai is trying to take down the leader of the film club,
yeah.
who he calls a boob dictator, also known as a boob drunkard, which I think is a great name to call somebody.
which is so funny because they depicted him as a fucking jock,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they did.
When I heard boob drunkard, I felt seen
Yeah.
in a way that I've never been. I'm
It's
joking.
no, but even if it doesn't describe you, we all know a boob drunkard.
Oh yeah,
We do.
Like,
we do.
it's a good term.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's hogging all the popularity, apparently. And this is bugging a senpai whose goal is popularity. He's also preying upon Akashi-san. I guess they're dating or something.
Yeah.
And it turns out the boob drunkard has a perverted addiction to nipples and milk and being bottle fed.
Yes.
And
his fucking girlfriend.
yeah, we'll find out about his girlfriend later. Because in this
You
episode,
mean cowrie?
yeah, look at how real she looks.
You mean cowrie?
They designed her really well.
Yeah. Okay, so Ozu and Senpai decide to make a documentary to expose him, and it works. And at the end, they end up making a romance film because they're like, "We did it! We booted him. What are we gonna do now?" We'll make a romance film, and it's just Ozu in a blonde wig, acting in a scene opposite Senpai, which I thought was brilliant.
That's actually the part where I started thinking that it was going to be like kind of Fight Clubby ish.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Right? Because
Yeah.
every time there's any scenes like that, they're always together in some weird way.
Exactly. Yeah,
Right.
I definitely was getting that vibe. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I liked thinking it. You know what I mean? Okay, episode 3, Cycling Club. So Senpai is saving up for a fancy bike.
This is such a stupid episode.
A lot of them are, but this is the point where they have to fool you, right?
Yeah.
At this point, for me anyhow, this is why I didn't hate these episodes once I realized their purpose.
Yes.
Anyways, he saves up for a fancy bike. It gets stolen. He has to use his old ass bike, but someone moved it, so he starts late at the race. He's in this race. Okay?
Yes.
His old bike sucks ass,
Yep.
and it's problematic. While this is all happening, Akashi-san is on the Birdman team, which is also a running theme. She keeps joining that team in each universe. And they're building a plane and need a pilot, and Senpai somehow has the perfect build for it. He ends up training with our favorite jock, the boob drunkard, and in order to compete on his shitty bike in the bike club. But in doing so, he gets all jacked and fucks up his chances of piloting the plane. Which all of this is like, do I care?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? While this is all happening.
Those are the thoughts that were going through my head.
Same at the time. While this is all happening, there's another group called the Cleanup Crew that's been stealing bikes, and we think it's Ozu, and then they steal the plane, and then it turns out it was never Ozu. It was Senpai was running the Cleanup Crew all along, which is where I started thinking about Fight Club situation.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to press pause here for a second. So if you're listening to this and watching this podcast, guys, do you guys understand what is happening right now?
Yeah,
Because if I'm listening to a podcast like this, I would have been so fucking lost.
Akashi-san's on the Birdman team. They're building a plane.
Yeah.
The kind of shit we're saying.
Is this
man.
Birdman? Like the one
Yeah.
with fucking Michael Keaton?
The Cleanup Crew is stealing bikes. They steal a plane.
Yeah.
Turns out it was never Ozu. It was Senpai all along.
Yes.
Like shit like that doesn't make sense.
No,
to
it
say.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. Like how are people like following along with this? Even like on this podcast, I don't even know.
They're probably
right now.
not, and we're sorry. But give the show a watch.
Yeah, give the show a watch.
If you
Jordy
found
liked
yourself as more of a Jordy in the past,
yes,
give the show a watch. If you're more of a Jay or a Mikey, maybe pass.
All right, let's keep going.
Okay. Episode 4. We're now we're training under Higuchi. He's running his own little group. Yeah. And it's just kind of nonsense, really. They're really just drinking and eating and escaping library fines.
Yeah.
And then we find out Higuchi is rivals with the boob drunkers, and they're in something called a proxy war.
Yeah.
Which means they're basically like pranking each other, getting each other over and over again on behalf of someone else who bestowed the proxy war on them a long time ago.
Yeah. That I did enjoy this part because it is kind of funny. It's kind of like when you do the whole fucking what was it? You can hire that company to like glitter bomb your friends or your enemies.
But this is like a hand me down for generations. It seems like it's an ancient
like a tradition.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways, Higuchi sends Senpai and Ozu on a way too long mission to find the mystical tortoise scrubbing brush. Are you guys remembering things that you had forgotten previously?
Every sentence you say.
Honestly, everything you said. I didn't realize, because like it's been a while since we watched this.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much of it I just pushed out of my mind.
It's better hearing it this way. It's funnier this way.
And it's like... I'm sweating because of how uncomfortable I'm feeling now.
Okay, so anyways, for some reason, the mystical tortoise scrubbing brush is going to help him in the proxy war. Higuchi sings his bonkers song about circles, which I loved. And then at one point, randomly, Ozu switches sides and fucks everyone over. And then in the end, it turns out they actually are going to pass on the proxy war to Senpai and Ozu. So now they're on it now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the end of that episode. By the way, there's a lot of shit that happens in these episodes. It's just all isn't noteworthy.
Yeah,
but a lot is crammed into these episodes.
And that's the thing, right? Like, even to try to review this on our end as a podcast in the limited time that we have for an episode, like, I mean, we could make this into a full fucking
podcast.
Really,
the
like
Tatami
literally,
podcast.
Yeah, the Tatami podcast.
You guys want to?
No, fuck off.
Find someone else, dude. And also, good luck.
Yeah.
You know what? He probably would find that one obscure dude who would be like,
I don't like that dude.
You know what would happen though? That podcast would get huge.
Yeah, it probably would.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it would have a weird cult following. That would be, you know what? That would be the one fucking anime podcast that would have the one fucking cult following.
No, thank you. Softball circle.
Softball circle. Are you looking at a list so that you can?
So we can keep trucking
softball
through.
Dude. Everyone says.
Honestly, we should just hit like some of the anchor points in the next few, and then just go to the last
We are
two.
in the thick of the shit. To me, that doesn't matter.
Let's just get the blaster. Okay, so in the softball episode, the softball team is also selling health products.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude? There's notes that make no sense.
This is what I'm saying.
Okay, listen to this.
Man.
Old lady, but he's dressed like a bee, and she grabs him. That's a note I wrote. They end up building a Noah's Ark. It's a cult, okay? Senpai, he realizes what's going on, Senpai's not vibing.
Yeah.
And then there's...
Yeah, Senpai right now is not vibing.
But you know what? I also was, and the softball team is fucking insane.
Yeah, it was really insane.
Yeah.
The Ark, was it a blimp? Is that this episode? It's not a boat, right?
No, the boat's later on, I think.
Anyways.
No, they have built like a Noah's Ark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah,
it
and
gets
gets
hijacked
stolen and crashed by
Ozu, of course.
Yeah.
And then Ozu and Senpai are once again running from an angry mob, the cult this time, and they're saved by the Neko ramen cart.
Yeah.
Which is
In that episode, the pro tag falls for the daughter of the health food company.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. That doesn't matter though.
Again, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's just all shit.
But now we're getting into the part that matters, okay? Because in episode 6, Senpai has to pick between 3 women, and this is where we get to the start of a 3-episode series, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
And then we start getting into how it all comes together, right? So Senpai has to pick between 3 women, or he says, or become a sexual dynamo. Which
Okay, but hold on. Let's also be clear. One of the 3 women.
One's a sex doll.
One of the 3 women is Kaori.
One he's never met
Kaori.
because it's a pen pal, and the other is Akashi-san.
Keiko is the pen pal, and then
Yeah.
Hanuki.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
Hanuki, not Akashi-san. She's not part of it.
That's
No,
right.
she-
That's Hanuki.
Hanuki is a wild card too, which makes you laugh. So Hanuki-san was Ozu's girlfriend in one of the past episodes. We blew past that
Yeah.
because I don't even think we met her. She's a dental hygienist.
I think, didn't we?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't fucking matter.
She's a dental hygienist. She's also a loose cannon. Okay,
Yeah.
so in this one, he joins the English conversation circle.
Which she is a part of.
She's a part of it. So he's hanging out with her, and she asks him out like point blank, and he rejects her because he's all torn up about these 3 women he has to choose from. Right? She's fucked up about a shitty boyfriend and gets into a drinking contest with the boob drunkard who happens to be at the bar. Right? At the end of the night, Senpai takes her home because she's hammered drunk, like completely drunk. And then there's this cowboy in his mind that's losing his fucking mind
This
about
is-
hooking up with
Again,
Hanuki.
acid fucking trip.
Yeah, absolutely. She gives him an erotic gum massage,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
which is kind of hot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, okay, if you're old as fuck,
Don't
like
kink
us,
shame me, Jay. Don't look at me like that.
if you're old
Don't
as
look at me like that.
If you're old as fuck and you remember this, it reminds me of fucking Silent Library.
Oh, sure.
Old man biting tenderly.
Yeah.
Do you
oh
remember
my God.
that?
Yeah, I do remember that. Wow, bro.
One of the very first fucking Japanese shows on YouTube in the early days of YouTube.
Silent Library?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good shit, dude. Classic.
Uh,
Okay, so after his erotic gum massage, he runs to the bathroom because I think he's probably going to come or something. I don't know. And actually, this is kind of an honorable move because I think he would have let her do whatever otherwise, and she's hammered as hell. So like he removed himself from the situation. I don't think that was his motives.
no.
But I think it was a good move. And then he kind of puts the cowboy in his mind in its place, which I was like, okay, well, most people don't have that skill to put the
Yeah.
cowboy in their mind in their place. You know what I mean?
I like I said, I get the idea because this story isn't really,
Yeah.
I would say, like innovative, right? I mean, I
Sure.
guess at the point when it was released, because what, it was 2004?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
2010.
2010. Even 2010.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this story wasn't like innovative. Like, people have been philosophizing over like your ego
Yeah.
and like how to separate like, your inner self to who you actually are, right?
Yeah. I
Like, 'cause-
think if you're trying to apply that to the cowboy in his mind, you're maybe giving the show a little too much credit. I think.
And that's coming from the guy who liked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. At the end, she ends up puking hard, and it's obvious that they weren't meant to be of the 3 women.
No.
But I kind of ship them. I like her, to be honest with you. I like that she's a little bit of a loose cannon, but whatever. Episode 7, 3 girls take 2. It's the next one, okay? And so this one, he joins the Hero Association. So he acts as the little white toy keychain thing in a live production. He gets scouted by the boob drunkard after his performance. Hey, that was really good. Do you want to be a bodyguard for my sex doll? To which he responds, yeah, okay. So he moves the sex doll into his house and then falls in love with her.
Yeah.
And then he has to essentially escape and dodge Hanuki, who is the other girl. He gets ditched by a pen pal, which kind of made me laugh. It was like, you don't even have a relationship with that person. And she's ditching you. And then he takes the sex doll to Neko Ramen. He steals her and runs away. And that's more or less the end of the episode, except that at the very end, I don't even remember how it happens, but the boob drunkard does come and claim his doll because, of course, Senpai doesn't get the W.
Yeah, of course.
right?
Never.
That's not how these episodes end.
And
'cause-
also, Coyote is fucking owned by the boob guy.
yeah, it's his.
Like, it's his sex
Yeah.
doll.
It's his. doll.
Jogasaki
Yeah.
is the boob guy's name.
Okay, I'm gonna continue to call him Boob Drunk.
I was enjoying it for a while.
You're done with it
But
now?
people like it's Jogasaki. If
Okay.
you guys are curious, okay.
Except I had enough.
Just for the sake of anybody who doesn't know.
Thank you, senpai. Okay, three girls take three. This time it's the pen pal. He writes back and forth. This one, there's not a lot to say about it. He ends up writing back and forth through her a lot. He gets hung up about this pen pal girl. He ends up going to her apartment, and it was Ozu all along. There was no pen pal.
Yeah.
And then you find out, nope, it wasn't Ozu. It was actually Akashi-san. And then at the end, it was always her, of course. And he has this moment, brief and not very clear, where it's always been her.
Yes.
She's the raven-haired beauty.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Episode 9.
No, that's actually the ending, to be honest.
I mean,
That realization.
that
I mean,
realization
show-
is the fucking last episode
if
at
you
the
had
end of the day.
removed the Groundhog Day like part of it,
Yeah.
that's the ending of this plot arc. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If these were all sequential storylines,
Yeah.
then yeah, that's the ending. But it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I fucking know.
I know you know. Episode 9. The Secret Society Lady Cat Chinese Restaurant. Which is actually a black market bike and plane sales company.
Yeah.
Like they sell bikes and planes black market. This episode is basically episode 3 again, but from a different angle. So Ozu is rising in the ranks of what they're calling the library police. He becomes the leader of it. And Senpai ends up leading the bicycle thieves. And then in the end, Ozu ends up stealing a blimp to pick his girlfriend up from a mountain. And this, at the end of this episode, was a reminder to me that this show is fucked. Like this,
Yeah.
this episode literally ends up in they steal a blimp.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's wild. Okay. Episode 10, I finally find out what a tatami is.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah.
You didn't know what it was?
They didn't explain it until now.
Oh.
It's a mat.
Yeah.
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 That's it. And
They didn't explain that at the beginning?
No.
Well, I guess
Have you
not.
ever seen people testing swords and they cut that green thing that's in a roll and they
No.
slice it?
that's a tatami?
It's a tatami mat
Yeah.
rolled up.
Oh, no, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of different types of them too. Like in judo, when I used to practice, we used tatami, like thick tatami mats as like
Yeah.
cushions.
It's a standardized
Oh, yeah.
sized is the way they explain it.
Yes.
Tatami refers to the size. And so the way he
Yeah.
explains it is humans can handle 4.5 tatami rooms or less only. That's it. No one can handle more than that.
No.
And then we find out pretty quickly because this is him in his room, kind of like mulling over. He's like depressed, I think. And we find out he's stuck in this dimensional vortex, this dimensional loop. And each time he leaves his room in any way, he just ends up back in it. You know, he's like leaving through the window, through the door. He breaks down the wall at one point. He's just in another one of his rooms. And each room he finds out is a reset. If he eats something in one room, it's still there in the next. He also one day sets out on a journey. He goes to 1004.5 rooms. It says. And he collects all. There's a 1,000 yen bill in every room. He collects them all as he goes. And then he finds out that the rooms are slightly different. And he finds this out because there's different books on the shelves, which are according to whatever circle or club he joined. And so this is where we're confirmed. Each episode was indeed a parallel dimension. And now he's figured it out. One version of him, anyhow. And I love this concept for the show, to be honest with you. I love how it brought it together at the end here.
Yeah, and I guess that's where the Interstellar part, where you were comparing it to, kind of comes in, and
Yeah.
I do really enjoy that because I did really enjoy Interstellar.
Yeah. It kind of sucks that they save the delivery for the very end and give you none of it up until this point. But it did give me a lot of. That's why it stuck in my head because I was like, well, now I'm spending all this time thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Well, but here's the thing: it's like I feel like the realization was just too abrupt.
Yeah.
Right? It went from like because usually there's in any kind of storytelling, you know, you have the climax and then the peak, right?
Yeah.
There was no climax. It was just hey ground and then hey peak.
Yeah.
And then back to ground again.
I mean, you're right. You're right that at the end of episode 9, the story does kind of end.
Yeah.
And then this is like an epilogue.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Is kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
But the epilogue fills you in about all the stuff you were confused about. Some of it.
I guess
Maybe not
I guess
all of
for
it.
you have that catharsis in watching it.
Yeah.
For me, and I mean like I sound like a broken record at this point. It was just like I was so checked out by this
Yeah.
point, man.
It's too late for me.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Like and
Yeah.
that's the thing. I was like, okay, yeah, I got it. All right, cool. but I'm like, I didn't have fun getting it.
Okay.
Like the journey wasn't enjoyable for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the destination is amazing to reach this point in the story and orchestrate it to all culminate like this.
Yeah.
It's noteworthy. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I did not enjoy getting there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
Jordy's-
And there were
Jordy's
parts
so
I did
sad.
enjoy and parts I didn't. No, I'm not sad. I knew you hated it for weeks now.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
known
I guess
that.
that's true too.
I've known that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
It's like a roller coaster is a lot more fun if you have that slow pull up the hill.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're enjoying that build up and build up. It's a very, very
And
exciting.
you're saying this was kind of like flat,
This-
flat.
And then somebody snapped, and then you were at the top of the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then somebody snapped again, and you're at the bottom of the thing.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
no up, and then there was
You
no
didn't
fun.
enjoy the up or the wee down.
Yeah.
It was just up, and now we're down. Okay.
It was just these parts, and now I'm up here, and then another one of
and then
these
and then
parts.
everybody's like, get it? And it's just like, no, I don't get
And you
it.
guys are like, no, and I'm like, yeah, guys, roller coaster.
But no, that does kind of sum up my experience with
all
the
right,
show.
all right. I like that. Okay.
You know, it's I'm a little saddened because only because like you really like this, and I love that you really loved it. I just
Yeah.
wish I could have loved it with,
With you, of course.
Aw.
We
You know
always
what I
like
mean?
that best.
Aw. Yeah, right.
That's always our favorite.
That's our favorite.
Has
And
this
then-
ever happened before? Where I liked something a lot and you guys both really disliked it?
No, this is the first time.
Mikey
Whoa.
always at least likes something.
Unprecedented, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I always love something, or I like really like something, or just like it at
right.
least, right?
I think Initial D was the only time you guys were both like, and I was like, you're fucked.
Oh, maybe you're right.
No,
That's never
But
happened.
Mikey still scored it.
I like Initial D.
I
because
know,
of
but
the-
you said you liked it far less on rewatch. You said
Yes,
you
that's
wish
right, yeah.
You literally said you wish you never rewatched Initial D.
You did say
Yeah,
that.
I did say that.
So Jane never forgot.
Anyways, I
Okay.
digress.
Let's get to the end and we'll talk about
because
scores.
there's so much nostalgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Episode 11. So Senpai gets bored studying his various selves, and he begins studying the characters around him by finding evidence of the people from his life. Because at this point, when he's stuck in his room in this universe, he hasn't met any of them yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't know any of them. So he starts studying them based on evidence in the rooms. He starts like crying about Ozu, who he realizes was his only friend. Like he's coming to all these truths, not having ever experienced life with any of these people, which is kind of interesting. And he starts like feeling like, oh, I should have been, he says something like, I should have been happy with these people who were in my life, but he's seeing the evidence that he was not. You know what I mean? He ends up finding in one of the rooms Ozu's phone. And he finds out that Ozu's girlfriend was a raven-haired girl, and he vows that if he ever gets out, he'll do all the same things, but just for enjoyment, not for the pursuit of popularity. He's like, or sorry, he says just for the enjoyment, not for the pursuit of enjoyment.
Yes.
Which I thought was pretty profound.
It is.
Great.
Like I said,
Yeah.
conceptually.
It's all there, man.
Yeah,
I
see,
know.
like we both
Why is the
agreed.
delivery so fucking weird?
It's weird.
Yeah, see,
weird
it's-
is a good word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like I feel like if this, that episode where he's going through the rooms happened earlier on, like you cut out a couple of the
Yeah.
of some of the episodes, and like because at like what episode 6, 7, you meet everybody and
Yeah.
you can have a general basis of what they're all like, and then you have that episode.
There's
You
no
know?
doubt there's ways to approach this that make it more accessible. There's
Yeah.
ways to have made this show that make it more accessible. It's just
Yeah.
not the show we got.
No, I know.
So
I think that would have made it more impactful. To
maybe.
be honest.
Yeah, it could have.
Yeah.
You're right.
Right,
I
that's-
agree there's ways to have done the show better.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because that way, instead of his realization coming to like on his own in one timeline,
Yeah.
it comes through all of those visiting every like room.
Yeah.
Like that would have been an awesome way to come to a realization and a
Yeah.
very cool artistic way to do it.
That is how he came to the realization.
But not really.
That is how he
you know,
literally
you know what
is.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like-
you
like-
mean
like
earlier
you're
while it's
what's
happening, not
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
end. I
nah.
gotcha. Okay. So he has this long reverence for the first time he met Akashi-san, and I was like, same, dude.
Yeah.
Like that was a big scene for me and for you and for the show.
Well, he noticed hanging in the ceiling of every single room.
The little
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And I realize now, because I'm an idiot, that thing's been hanging in the ceiling from time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, the fortune teller keeps telling him it's dangling right in front of you.
Yeah.
Every time he goes
Yeah.
to talk to her, that's her advice to him, and he doesn't realize. And I'm like, oh, it was always dangling right in front of you, quite literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got that
Yeah.
early.
And yeah, he realizes he fell head over heels for her in that first meeting. And then randomly, moths fill his room while he realizes that. And I was like, were moths a thing? I think they weren't. It's like a transformation, a metamorphosis.
Yeah,
kind
Could
of
be a metamorphosis.
Just a little symbology
what I'm
happening.
thinking.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
a weird symbol late in the game.
Also, like, I don't presume to know all of the, aspects of Japanese culture.
Sure.
Yeah,
Moths could-
culturally,
moths
yeah.
could represent something
Yeah.
that would just be very obvious to a Japanese person. That
Totally,
we're just
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
transformation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me.
But anyways,
Okay, so suddenly after having this, I don't think that's what we were talking about.
More to meet the fly.
I was gonna say you got to finish the song. Dude. Okay, so suddenly after having this realization, he's out.
Yep.
And he's running barefoot on a busy street. And while he's running, people's clothes are changing rapidly as he passes them. And I'm thinking, okay, are we representing the many possible or simultaneous dimensions, or is he kind of running through them? You know what I mean? Is he existing in all of them suddenly in some weird way, the same way he was
Yeah.
in the house? They don't explain it. I just think these are cool things that I get to think about when I watch
my
the show.
assumption was that every version of him was
Yeah.
experiencing
All running
that
at the same
moment.
time. Yeah,
Yeah. At the
You're
same
probably
time.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Jet Li movie, The One?
Yes.
Maybe. Is that the
Yeah,
one where
yeah.
he lights his leg on fire? And
No. That was a good one. The Jet Li, so it was the whole idea of a multiverse where, he goes around and he kills each one, like
Okay.
a version of himself. And so
Okay.
there's only one left. And like everybody's experiencing all these things all at once. And then he becomes stronger and stronger and stronger.
yeah.
But I think, again, it's that kind of same idea of how, like, even now, if during one universal line, like our own timeline, for example, we experience ourselves as different people as we grow up,
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Different versions constantly as we learn and grow.
right?
Yeah,
Right. So I think that's just a metaphor on top of that, right?
sick. I like thinking about these things when I watch a show like this. I like that it gets my brain moving in interesting ways.
You and I both, like we all do, we love philosophy and talking
Yeah.
about shit like this. But
Yeah,
not
you
like
just don't
this.
like when it's delivered like this.
No, yeah, not
You like a nicer package.
yeah, in my anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so suddenly while he's outside and running, we're suddenly snapped back to episode 1. Ozu's on the bridge. He's about to jump. And Senpai runs after Ozu, and while he's doing that, he's switching out of outfits from past episodes, including at one point completely nude, which to me is like stripping all the pretense away. All the past episodes, all the things don't matter anymore. It's just now he realizes the importance of the relationships along the way. None of the nuances of what happened really make a difference. Ozu also randomly has a normal human face, which I was like, whoa. Weird. He also has no idea who Senpai is. They've never met in this universe.
Yeah.
He's like, who is this guy? And then the moths come and attack again, and they say something about the black thread of fate, which I'm like, is this something like the red thread?
Must be.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Anyways, I'd be interested to learn about that.
I pushed that part out of my mind.
Yeah, apparently you did. And it turns out that first episode was kind of a culmination of all of Ozu's fuck-ups. Okay, so we didn't realize that as we were watching it, but it kind of had elements of all these episodes in it. We didn't see it, right? At the end, Senpai gives advice to Higuchi. He returns the toy to Akashi-san. He goes to Neko Ramen with everyone. There's like a big happy ending. They give you an actual epilogue where you find out what happens to everyone. Higuchi went traveling with Hanuki-san, and I'm like, wow, didn't see them hooking up, but they're perfect for each other.
Yeah.
The boob drunkard got a job. Probably out there fucking his doll. They don't give you a lot of detail on that, but you can assume.
Yeah.
Senpai and Ozu continue the proxy war, I think simply because it's fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Senpai moves into a 6 tatami room, breaking the previous human barriers of 4.5 max, right? He's also got his own bathroom.
Yes.
Big deal.
It is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And Ozu apparently still has a girlfriend, but she's elusive. We don't meet her. Senpai and Akashi-san are together now. Of course, we all needed that.
Yes.
Had to happen.
And yes, Senpai has this like new lease on life. He's not about, the rose-colored campus life. He's not about raven-haired beauties. He's not about the pursuit of enjoyment. He's just about enjoyment. And I'm like, yes.
And he has like a mirrored combo with Ozu.
Yeah.
It's like a direct mirror of the first episode, except this time he's like,
Yeah.
I'll help you.
Yeah.
I'll be a good guy this time.
Yeah. You're not a weird fishy
Fish
alien
man,
monster.
I see you as a human being now.
I literally,
Therefore, I will treat you
Literally.
like one.
Yeah. And that's the fucking end, guys. And we
Yeah.
made it to the end of the
Wow.
Tatami motherfucking Galaxy.
Well, even on top of that too, like that one point with like looking at Ozu where he has a human face, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we experience that as humans on a daily. When you meet somebody, you have your initial reaction as far as like first impressions, what they look like.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when you get to know that personality,
Yeah.
they look different.
Yeah,
Or-
I mean, this is a juvenile way to put it, but we all had this thought where, like, you have a friend maybe or someone you know kind of when you're younger, who you don't think as a romantic partner, but then you get to know them and their personality really gels and you like their personality and suddenly they're fucking so hot.
Yeah.
And you can't help but think about them and you're like, oh, God, that person's so hot, but you never thought about it before.
Yeah.
You didn't see it before.
exactly.
You might have saw a fish monster. You know what I mean?
Fucking
But we've all
goblin.
experienced that before, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so for anyone that's been able to keep up with this podcast,
Yeah.
first of all, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
But yeah, I guess if you want to watch it and because you like dissecting things like this is probably a great one for you. If you're more into the fluff and like crazy stuff, like because like I like psychological thrillers and stuff like that in anime,
Yeah.
but just not.
That's not this either. This is like it's like a goofy philosophical, like I don't know how those things would ever mesh, but that's the words,
But
right?
it is very psychological, very cerebral.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Right in that way.
but
Like,
also silly.
yes. Like
Yeah.
They get it.
Yeah.
I think they get it.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyway,
If you like
You
that,
guys are literally back at the beginning of the podcast, and I feel like I'm in the fucking Tatami Galaxy right now because we're giving like
Welcome back
we're
to
giving our
Animation
general
Anime.
thoughts on how
Yeah.
this kind of anime is, and I'm like, we just talked about that for
Yeah.
an hour.
okay.
Anyways.
What do you rate it?
don't get angry, but I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
I smashed this in 2 days, and I'll be honest with you. The first day, I was like checked out, just like you guys were. But before I even went to watch it, the second day, I couldn't stop thinking about it all day.
Wow.
And then that second day, I got all the delivery, one after another, after another, after another. And I was like,
You're definitely in the majority with that kind of score. I would say
okay,
that's not. We can't be mad at that score.
yeah,
Yeah.
because we're the weird ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
Before Mikey gives his score, what's the Mal score? He's gonna ask anyways.
No, I'm not gonna tell him until he gives his score. Ever. Okay. That's the rule.
Yeah,
Unless he wants to be sneaky and look it up before we start recording.
but now you've given him the idea of it.
Yeah. Mikey's a crafty guy. He doesn't need my
Okay, fair
ideas
Fuck
to think
you.
this shit
I'm not
up.
Ozu.
Well, what did you guys score? Are you both sub 5?
No, I actually could because
I'll give it a 5.
You're a
I'll
5?
give it a 5.
Yeah,
okay.
so I was gonna give it a 5.5.
Okay, just to
Oh,
be
no.
J by 0.5.
You guys,
I didn't say shit.
That's true. Fuck you, Jordy. Sorry, senpai. No, because I do because I do really like the animation style, and I like kind of how janky it is. It's really cool, really eclectic, very different from what I normally watch.
Yeah.
You like that and I didn't. So
yeah.
it makes sense you give it more.
So I probably as tradition, I give it a 6. Also, it.
Oh wow, 2 scores again.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
because it does need to pass because I do respect what it did for the community.
Put some spec on his name.
Right, with some specs, right? Because it did have a lot of like acclaimed,
Yeah.
like points, and conceptually it's all there. It was just a delivery,
All right.
right? For me,
Mal score is 8.6.
Wow, that's a high mouse score.
It is
yeah,
very
that
good
is a
Mal
very
score.
high mouse score.
This is what I'm saying. It is
Yeah.
very well regarded, guys.
Yeah.
Do not take our condemnation of this as law, because it's not. It's just we're just letting you know that this might not gel with you.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you don't get it.
These guys
Yeah.
don't know everything.
That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. That just means that this isn't
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
I just know more than Jordy.
Yeah. That's all.
What?
What? Anyways, guys,
All
that
right.
was fun, I guess.
Yeah, I liked it. I had a great time.
All right. Well, anyway, follow us on socials.
Please do.
Yeah, you guys can find me at Shmanime Pod on TikTok, Instagram, and join the Discord. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Where can people find you guys?
I'm at hanger.91 on Instagram or hanger91.bigcartel.com.
And if you want to talk to the star of the show, clearly,
Yeah.
you can find
Pretentious
me
asshole
at
over
reaching
here.
in on Instagram.
But yeah, and if you can, my wife and I, we run a kitten rescue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Never Not Kittens. If you can donate to that, that'd be great.
Neko Ramen Cart.
Yeah, it's a non-profit kidding. Fuck off, man.
It's from the show.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Peace.